Hello loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've seen me before. It has actually been quite some time since I've actually sat down and recorded. July was a really hectic month. My dad was really ill for a while. We had to take him to hospital. We were there for some time and it took a while to recover from that. And then I ended up not feeling too great myself. So yeah, I guess here we go. And I had a blood test today, and the phlebotomist told me that I fall under what he likes to call a special case because even though I had drank 4 liters of water across today and yesterday, he still could not find my veins. He tried in both my arms, he tried this hand as well. He literally put the needle in, as you can see, like a bit of a mark there, and he took it straight out. He goes, "Yeah, that ain't good enough." And he tried this hand and it finally bloody worked. But I thought that was really, really funny. I always have issues with my blood test, but I'm glad it's over with. Now I just gotta wait for the results. But anyway, yeah, July has been really hectic. I've not done as many makeup days. I've actually hardly used makeup products completely. I think I had a couple of days where I did like no eyeshadow makeup and I used a couple of things, but it has been slow going with both makeup and non-makeup stuff. I do still have a chunk of things for the month of July, and I really do want to just make this video as quick as I can because it's hot. It's really, really hot, and I've had to close all my windows so that I could do this for you guys because the sun's in a really weird place. But anyway, if you guys enjoy watching beauty content or planning stuff or reviews and stuff like that, please make sure you stick around by subscribing, like this video. So yeah, hopefully I can continue to do more and have actually time to do all my updates for this month because I'm a little bit behind, but it is where it is. Anyway, let's just get right into the video. So, as I was saying, the month of July has been extremely hectic and not much has been done. Today's the first time I've actually properly sat down and I've done a proper makeup look, and I've actually like picked up my brushes, picked a palette, and gone ahead and done an entire look based off that. And it has been so therapeutic. I like could not wait for the day I could literally sit down and do that. But I'm so glad I could do this. Is We're in August now. It's like the 1st of August by the time I'm sitting down to record this. But anyway, anyway, let's just get on with it. One of the first things I used up is this VO5 Revive Me Daily Conditioner. I actually stole this from my mum. She bought the shampoo conditioner set and she wasn't so keen on the shampoo. And I was like, "Do you know what? I need a conditioner. I'm gonna take over yours." So I did that. She used, I think, this a little bit of times, and then she switched to a completely different set of products to use instead. And I've basically been the one to use this. I was quite pleasantly surprised with how hydrating this feels. I could go back and buy this one again. I probably wouldn't buy their like shampoo sets though. The conditioner did sell me pretty well. So if I ever needed something that's a little bit more on like the deeper side, well, a slightly more hydrating side than some of the other conditioners, I can see myself buying this one again. However, I just tend to buy any like cheap conditioner that works well to hydrate your hair. And there's nothing like specific that I buy. It's usually the shampoos I experiment a little bit more with. But with conditioners, I like flock between a couple if I found them to be good. This was pretty decent actually, and I was happy with the way this felt. Also, my hair is at the point now where it needs a cut, and the ends are like dry and crispy. You wouldn't be able to tell hair because of the way that that is, but my ends really do need it some more TLC than normal, and I am due for a haircut. I just don't have the time right now, and I probably won't go to see my hairstylist till like September anyway. So until then, I want to do what I can to keep my hair as hydrated as possible. But this was actually a shockingly good conditioner, especially because I use slightly more abrasive slash stripping shampoos. Like I have completely forgotten the name of the shampoo, but I will have a photo of it up here somewhere for you guys to see. Oh, the Nizoral one with, it's got the 2% keto something in it. That's the one I use, and that one can really dry your hair out. But when I've used this conditioner, it's brought that back in, like it's brought some more hydration back into my hair, and it's made it feel really soft and conditioned afterwards. Whereas there have been other conditioners I've used and it's just not helped in any way. So yeah, I really like this, and still it's a shock to me how good it actually was. I just took a quick to turn on some of those lights, but it's not actually giving what I wanted to give anyway. Like I was saying, I've also used up this hair product. This is a leave-in conditioner from Christoph Robin, and I have to say I really enjoyed every single one of his products I have used, and I do think this is a brand I want to bring into my rotation a lot more often than I already do, especially with the hair care products. Any shampoos, conditioners, leave-in conditioners, the hair masks that I've used, they've all done such an amazing job with hydrating my hair, making it feel really like healthy, making it look really shiny, but also making it feel really like soft and well conditioned. And I do have to say that this is no exception. I actually really enjoyed using this. I don't remember how I got this. Actually, no, I do. I bought edit from Cult Beauty at the start of the year because there was a few things I wanted as replacements, and they were selling a whole thing. So technically, it kind of broke my no buy, but then technically it didn't because it was still replacements for things that I'm already currently using, and I knew I'd have to go back out and buy them, and it kind of just made sense because it would save me cost later on down the line. Um, so yeah, I bought this, but I really, really like this, and I definitely will buy this one again. Currently, I pulled out the Way one because I think that one's really good, and there's one by Redken as well. But I feel like I would like rotate between the three of them because all three are just so good. This I believe came as part of the same set or the hair edit, but I don't really support Amaka as a brand. I try to avoid. So my boycotting doesn't cover every single brand, but I do try and avoid certain brands that are like a product of or direct come out of, for instance, like Israel. So anything that is like an actual Israel, I do try and avoid them. But this was given in that set, so I kind of couldn't really because I kind of wanted to know quite a few of the other things in that set. So I kind of got this. This was an okay product. Like I would use it in my shower after I'd done my shampoo, and I do feel like it is a pretty good brand. They do have good stuff. I just wish it didn't have ties in that way. Because I think this is an amazing brand. I just my conscience is not just it doesn't allow me to continue supporting, and I just can't do it. So it is what it is, but because it's an empty and I did use it up, I kind of just want to feature it, but I just wouldn't really support the brand. I don't really support the brands. I wouldn't buy anything from them or like intentionally buy anything from them. Unfortunately, sometimes there'll be like advent calendars or like beauty boxes, and the brand like products will just be in there. So I'll get it in that sense. Otherwise, I'm not really spending my own money on the brand. Everything else in here is essentially like all body slash skincare stuff. So we'll talk about this one since this was the first thing I pulled out. So this is the Ritual Jing Instant Care Hand Lotion. However, it felt too drying to use on my hands, so I just switched it to my feet because it's quite an old product and I kind of just wanted it to be done. And I felt like if I kept using it on my hands, I wasn't going to use it up. Oh my god, it almost matches my eyeshadow. Amazing. So I knew that I wasn't going to be able to use it up in terms of the hand cream. So honestly, I just started using it on my feet. And do you know what? It wasn't even that bad of a product. However, it was so old. I believe I got this in 2023, and that is a very long time to have a product like this, especially if it's been opened as well. So I could definitely tell that the product had changed and it was no longer doing what it was needed to do. So that was enough for me to be like, okay, you need to kind of hurry up and use this. And I'm so glad to say that it's finally done. Another product I kind of used on my feet in the end was this one. This is the Keys Soul Care, like this like deeply hydrating balm thing. You're supposed to apply it generously. So I don't really have dry skin on my body, but my feet can become very dry. And I saw someone say to use the CeraVe ointment on your feet after you used a moisturizer on your feet just to kind of like make it more smooth and to keep them more hydrated. And I thought that this kind of gives the same vibe as what the CeraVe ointment is, and I kind of just use it in that way. That is the only way that I could possibly ever physically use this. Otherwise, I just don't see any time that I would, unless it got right to the winter time and then I used it on my face. But then I have so many like face oils as well, it would have been a bit too much. So I'm really glad to say that this is also done. I did use it on my feet and I'm glad it's done. It's not really a product for me. I don't feel like I really need it, but it came out of a Cult Beauty, I think, advent calendar many years ago. So it has been a product I've had, I think, I want to say 2023, maybe earlier. Like, again, the memory is really bad. So I don't know the exact time, but I know it's been in my collection for a very long time and it's been open for a while too. So honestly, I'm just so glad that this is also done. It's also part of my Beauty Age Z. And honestly, whenever I'd see that project, I'd get really stressed because this is something that's just like it's there, but it wasn't getting used. And when I finally saw that video, it clicked and I was like, you know what? I'm going to use it in the same way. And I'm just so glad. I was so glad it's done. Two shower products I used up. This was a mini from Soap and Glory. This is the body wash. I actually did like this, but I just don't like the smell of it. And then this is the Bayless and Harding bath and shower cream. I actually did enjoy both of these, but I just did not like the scent of them. I think Soap and Glory is a really amazing affordable brand that you can get at Boots. I think they do amazing products. Their skincare a lot of the time is top tier for me, and I think they're also very affordable, and I would recommend the brand, and I do buy from them occasionally whenever I do remember. And then this product was actually given to me by my younger cousins for my birthday. They're so cute, I swear. But they got me a set for my birthday, and I thought that was really sweet of them. And I just used up this product. I did like both of them. I do think they did an amazing job. but I probably, if I am to repurchase something, it probably will be this. But typically I don't really feel like I need to buy any extra shower gels. I just use whatever everybody else uses and it's usually fine. I don't the only time I will really like bring something else in specifically is if either I've bought it for something, like it came in a set or it was given to me like this. But otherwise, I just use whatever. I'm not really that fussed with it. I probably should be, but I am not trying to develop an extra problem via my OCD. I think I have enough on my hands as it is. Moving over to body, I did actually use up this cream. So this is the Delicia Drench body butter. I know you're supposed to use this on wet skin, but my issue is I cannot for the life of me have wet skin and do this. I do understand why people say you should do that because you definitely get the benefit of the product being more hydrating. I didn't even I don't think okay, the smell wasn't the worst, but it's not something I enjoyed that much. I do like Sol de Janeiro. I do think they have some great products. I do think they have some fun scents. I just don't know if they're like creams are sort of my vibe. I do think they're fun. I do think it's such a cute packaging. It's so cutesy to have. I think it's really fun. It's like the perfect if you want to do like a really aesthetic like self-care routine, it's there. And it is a good product. I think I need something that's a bit more hydrating that sinks immediately into the skin. This one does for the most part, but I feel like sometimes it can take a bit of time to sink in and it's a little bit on the thicker side. I need something that's like thin and just sinks right in because my body needs it, and then I can just move on to the next step. But yeah, I did actually enjoy this. I don't think I'll go back and buy this one again. I do have this face cleanser. I have used this quite a few times in the past, and I always tend to go back to this. This is from Inculess, and this is the salicylic acid cleanser. I think this does a great job. I usually use this one at night time, and I do feel like it does a good job, especially if I've done my makeup, I've got SPF on, and I need like a slightly deeper like cleanse because I'm breaking out. I think there's a really nice job of that. So I do like this, and I always go back to it whenever I can if I've used up my stash. And I did literally buy this at the start of this year at some point, and I'm now out, and I will potentially buy another one. I'm very close to actually needing to buy another one, so I'm due for another boot strip very soon. But I did actually like this. I think that this is like my third or fourth one of these. So yeah, this one does get used quite often whenever I get the chance to, and I'm gonna bring it right back into my skincare routine very very soon. So this product, I believe I would class it as like gifted because it was an exchange for a post. So I got this from Yes Sales, but this was a collection from a bib and it was a Heartleaf one. And I'm very grateful to even have gotten that opportunity because the products were actually freaking amazing. Now this one is their calming drops. This is the capsule serum. I don't think this did as amazing of a job as like the toner as well as like the moisturizer did, or even like the cleanser. I do think that this would be good for someone. I just don't think it necessarily did much for me. But that being said, I do really think that if you have sensitive skin, a product like this would be really, really good. I even told my cousin about this one because she's been struggling. I did say to her, try this or at least look into this one. You might like this one instead because it is actually very soothing and very like gentle on your skin. But I just don't really feel like I saw the benefits or so much with just a serum. So this is probably something that I wouldn't rebuy again, but I would buy the others within like the trial kit that I got. But I was genuinely so shocked when I got that. But I do really feel like this is a really, really good routine to have, or at least if you're looking for like something just to maybe you have really sensitive skin, dry skin, or like you've irritated your barrier. I feel like this would be a nice way to sort of like allow your skin to like heal again. But if you're also looking for just like hydration alone, I think that this was a really nice collection. I also use this eye cream and I feel like it did absolutely nothing for me. This is the Dr. Levi Intense Stem Cell. This is an eye booster concentrate. I don't really think I did anything. I don't really notice any different at all on my eyes. They're still the way that they are. It is what it is, but I think I got this in my Cult Beauty advent calendar for 2025. I will probably buy the one from this year too because I feel like the Cult Beauty one, they have some really amazing products. But I just feel like this didn't really do it for me, so I wouldn't go back and buy this one again. This product was sent to me as PR from L'Oreal. I was genuinely so shocked when they accepted me for this. I think I just signed up on like Instagram as a joke, being like, yeah, they're not going to send it to me because of I've only got like 200 like followers on Instagram, and like, my TikTok is little bit more, but I signed up using my Instagram, so I was like, yeah, they're not gonna do it. And then surprisingly, they did. And I actually really did enjoy this cream. I wouldn't really say that it gives you glass skin because I feel like you need a more in-depth routine to get that sort of vibe. But I feel like this made my skin look really nice and dewy, and the product just sat so beautifully. And whenever I do SPF or like makeup on top of it, like it was amazing. My skin loved this so much. I saw the price of this and it's like I think 17 or 18 pounds. I can't personally justify that for a moisturizer that I flew through basically, because I feel like I need 2 to 3 pumps of this product, at least 2.5 of this product, and I cannot justify this for £17. If I was to ever receive it again, I will definitely use it. I did enjoy it, I will say, and it took me by surprise, I'm not gonna lie, but I just cannot justify the price of this. If it's ever on sale, maybe then potentially, but even then, I do think that it's quite costly for how much you get in here. But it did take me by surprise, and I would say I really did enjoy this. So thank you to L'Oreal for sending me this. At some point in the month, I don't remember when, I did use up this Soap and Glory brightening sheet mask. I did think this was quite nice. However, I don't really remember much of it. I think I used it sort of right at the start, and then so much happened in the month of July that I've generally forgotten most of everything, and my memory has just been lapsing pretty bad. Pretty awful, I can't lie. However, I do think it was a decent product. I don't really buy sheet masks unless like I kind of really just want something for the sake of like a way to force myself into like relaxing, because I tend to have a really hard time with that. So yeah, I don't really go out to typically buy them a lot or do them very often. It's just as and when I feel like I need. Most times I do just buy it from like Yes House because I feel like their products are really, really good. But I do think I enjoyed that, because if I didn't, I think I would have probably like remembered that it was frustrating to use or something. But I do think I must have enjoyed it enough to be like, yeah, no, I did like that. And tell me why my lash decided to fall off right now. I did use up a sheet of my stars. These is part of my, I think, my 50 Shades of Blue project pan. And I was just like collecting these as I was to use them up. And I have used up, I think, my sixth sheet now. My fifth one, I think, I don't even remember how many I pulled in at the start, but at least that's one of them done. I will say, considering it was a pretty rubbish month where a lot had happened and things are really tough, I do have a few things here that I'm really surprised about. One of them is this perfume. And initially, when I first got this, I was like, oh crap, I don't really like this anymore. And I regret my purchase. However, the more I started to use it, the more the scent grew on me. This is their pink bouquet one. And I really, the more I use it, the more I basically enjoyed it. However, towards right at the end of this, the product lost its longevity, so I felt like it was disappearing really, really fast, and the scent of it did change. I feel like I got this, I know I definitely got it prior 2024, so either 2022 or 2023. However, my room gets really, really intensely hot, and I do try to like keep the curtains closed if it's really, really hot. But I feel like, and I found this a lot, especially for some reason with my perfumes, and it's not really much with anything else, but it is specifically to do with my perfumes. They tend to have a shorter life date because of what I believe is that this room gets really, really hot, and I keep them in my wardrobe, and most of the times they're literally right at the back, except for like the couple that I'm using else at the front, and then I'll keep the door closed for the most part. Wow, that's like coming off really, really badly. But it's just not, it just wasn't doing it, and it the stench sort of died. But I'm really glad to say that it's actually done, because I did not think I could get through anything, and surprised myself by actually finishing a perfume, and it's a big one too. And I'm really happy because the whole time I think I've only used one other like big perfume that's more like a midi, and that was like half a used anyway, so it's not like I was going to be using it for that long. So it was nice to actually get use out of this. And I basically rolled this in as it was right at the top of this, so it's, I had this for some time. Like I think I rolled it in back at the start of the year. So I feel like I've done a really, really good job with that. And lastly, I have two makeup empties. I thought I only had one, but I have two. One of them is this brow gel. I've had this since I think 2024, and I've used it all the time. Like there's nothing coming out of this now. And that's what like the brush looks like. This is from Beauty Bay, and I feel like this is actually pretty good. It's that like if you want like a really quick like brow thing, this is literally what I use, like slap it on and go. My brows are already very like sparse, I think is the word for it. So it was just like sometimes, you know what, like a little is enough, and this was like a good one to use. However, I don't want to justify spending £4, £5, £6 on Beauty Bay and then having to pay like £4 for shipping, it just doesn't really make sense for me. So I know that when there's a couple more things I'm gonna be repurchasing, or if it gets to the point where like I know my no buy is over and I'm gonna buy stuff and there's like a really long, really long list. Okay, a very long list of stuff that I know I'm gonna buy. I'll then like shop around when I do and I can get myself a replacement. But I do think Beauty Bay has some really good products and they are pretty slept on, shockingly. So if you guys are looking for a new brand to try, I think Beauty Bay is a really good place to shop. Their eyeshadow palettes are amazing. They have a really good payoff for the fact that they're so cheap. So if you are looking for eyeshadow, I would highly recommend them as a brand. And lastly, I have this eye pencil. This is from Glistening Cosmetics, and this is like a really nice, like multi-chromy blue, kind of similar to my nail polish that you can kind of see. It's a bit hard to like show you guys. I did like a swatch, but it's not really coming up. It's kind of okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can kind of see that. That's what it looks like. It was nice, but I do feel like it just dried out towards the end, and I did use it, but it became more and more difficult. I feel like Glisten has really amazing, like multichrome, really fun products, but I feel like sometimes I go on the websites and so much stuff is like sold out or like no longer there. But I did actually really enjoy this. I like the Chroma collection. I think they did a really good job with that. But I want to see them again, like just to bring more of the products back. I don't know if they will because they do have a lot of other products and other brands on their site. But I do feel like this is a really good product. It's just a shame that this dried out towards the end. But I did try to get as much use as I possibly humanly could. And I do actually really like the brand and I see why everybody else enjoys them so much because it's also so affordable too. That was everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my ramblings of these products. Again, it wasn't the best month. There was a lot going on. It was tough, I can't lie. And at one point I generally did not think I could even have like 5 empties. So yeah, this is still a pretty good amount for the fact that July was a very difficult month and with a lot of illnesses. But yeah, regardless, I'm really happy that I was even able to use these things up. I'm really happy to see that these are going to be leaving my room very soon, and only a few of them are going to be kept for future updates. But that is everything for today. Fingers crossed I can go back to like normal scheduled posting and I can figure out a day that I want to post on. But that's everything for today. Thank you for stopping by. I'll see you next week. Bye.